Welcome everybody. My name is Michael and today is just another day in Bitcoin. We have hit below $50,000. Now $50,000 was a very important psychological barrier, just as $20,000 was in 2017 when we broke that, and when we broke in 2020 and now 2021 past 30,000, and then the next really big point was $50,000 because we're already halfway to 100K. People started freaking out. Then every next $5,000, $10,000 increments, people were super excited. We got almost to $65,000 and then we dropped drastically. There have been many times just over these past few weeks where Bitcoin went above a small psychological barrier. Everybody got excited only for it to fall back behind it. Why? Because there was either always some event happening, taking place that was major, hash rates dropped due to miners and potential Chinese power outages, a flash crash because of an exchange problem, people freaking out because of billions of dollars getting liquidated, the potential for billions of dollars to get liquidated, and then they did. All it takes is a few rumors for Bitcoin to be dropped. And many of us who have been here for the past few years understand that it is volatile and there are periods of stability. But what should be more important, rather than the price constantly rising and people making a bunch of money, I can't lie to you guys, it is exciting to see your portfolio grow in value in terms of fiat currency. You had, let's say, $5,000, the next day you have $6,000, and then next week you have $7,000. You get super excited, just as anyone would. Wow, you feel smart, you feel ecstatic, you see Bitcoin breaking new all-time highs. Then you see, just like yesterday, it fell back. Whoa, it was in the $55,000, $56,000 range, and then it fell to $52,000. But what was interesting is a lot of people were saying altcoin season started. You had Ethereum and Binance that were not only positive, but Ethereum broke its new all-time high while Bitcoin was going down. So in a way, yeah, alts were kind of a little bit more powerful. And then Ethereum and Binance and all the other projects backtracked as Bitcoin broke below $50,000 now. There was no specific event that caused this. It was just a little bit of market panic, and there's a lot of new investors to cryptocurrency this year around, just judging by Bitcoin subreddit, the altcoin subreddits, Dogecoin subreddits. All of these have grown in huge numbers, and you can also look at the YouTube channels of all these cryptocurrency YouTubers. In 2017 and 18, it was a big number to have over 100,000 subscribers. Now you have people who are approaching 1 million subscribers. Back then, the only channel that was above 300,000 subscribers was DataDash. Now you have BitBoy, who's about to hit 900,000 subscribers, and you have over 6 channels that are over 500,000 subscribers. So these are hundreds of thousands of new investors coming in, and they haven't been through the entire cycle of 2017-18 and then waiting a few years until the next halvening, and there's going to be always more people flooding in. Part of it is these newbie investors get really freaked out because they might have bought at all-time high. There was definitely some people who probably purchased at 64,000, 64,500, 64,800. They just saw their portfolio get reduced, let's say that $5,000 number again, to $4,000, to $3,000. You see that, you start really panicking, right? And that's normal. I have to admit, I can't lie as well on this one. I checked the markets today, as I always do, out of sheer curiosity. Whoa, I see $48,000. It went down to $47,700. I see that. I was like, for a split second, there was something in my mind. It was completely illogical. I have to sell everything. It's crashing. And then I was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm still profitable because, again, all of this Bitcoin was really kind of purchased around $30,000, 30-something thousand dollars. And even at $47,000, even at $45,000, I remember when I was super excited. I remember when you guys were excited, everybody was like, woo, we broke above 45,000. Then 50,000, 60,000, 65,000. People are saying, oh, it's going to 300,000. It's going to $1 million. Everybody's saying buy the dip. And then this happens. A big dip happens. This is a big correction, right? We almost lost $20,000 from the original price. There were some weird things going on, like Ethereum hitting its all-time high while Bitcoin's fallen. So there's some things that don't really indicate that suddenly it's over. The bull market run is over. You see a lot of these crazy headline grabbers that say, bull market over, Bitcoin's dead, we're crashing, I'm selling everything, da da da. You see a lot of these big YouTubers doing these clickbait titles, and I get it, they're trying to make some money off of this. Obviously they're not selling, or if they are, they're selling a percentage of their entire portfolio, which most of these portfolios are worth well over $1 million, and to the average person, they don't really understand that. They think, oh my gosh, they're selling everything. The average person has a few $1,000s inside, right? Just like me. And for a split second, every single person, when you see the price drop and you're like, maybe I should sell, but then you realize it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to sell, because if you were to sell at this price, you would have sold at a long time ago. Every single time this happens, you have YouTubers and so-called experts who are going to say, oh yeah, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go sideways. There's a lot of people who have no idea what's going on. No expert can guarantee what will happen tomorrow or a year from now. They can predict all they want, but most of these predictions sooner or later are going to be false, and there's going to be a lot of prophets and a lot of experts that are going to say, oh, I predicted it. Yeah, because you predicted it both to go up and down at the same time. And you're backtracking on what you said a few videos ago. So it doesn't really matter. Even the professionals get it wrong in the stock markets, such as the 2008 recession. There was always failures everywhere you look. But the main thing that sets out some of the people that you should look at is experience. Nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. But depending on who the individual is that you're looking up to, depending on where they gained their experience from, are they a day trader? Did they come from stocks? Were they margin trading, option trading, and then they suddenly got interested in cryptocurrency? Have they been very profitable? Have they made a lot of failures and losses? Who are they? How much time have they spent in cryptocurrency? What do they actually know? Are they maybe coming from the other side? Instead of looking at tactical analysis, they're looking at the companies. They're looking at the actual stuff behind the scenes, because they're the pre-launch investors, they're the developers, they're the people who actually work at these companies, the people who are really geeked out and nerding over cryptocurrency on a daily basis. YouTubers and all these influencers, most of us are entertainers, and it's good to admit that. I used to think a few years ago that there was a lot of experts, and I thought it would be rather quick to gain knowledge on this. You can label yourself one, but when you start predicting prices and you're actually confident that you're going to hit it, you're probably not Nostradamus. Let's get that into your head. And the second thing is, it's good to look for patterns in the markets. So yes, if you make a prediction based off of what's happened in the past, it might happen again, but most likely it'll surprise you, just as cryptocurrency always surprises us. So the only thing you can do as an investor in cryptocurrency is either sell or hang on for the ride. And it's going to get complicated depending on how your portfolio looks. See, when you're just in Bitcoin, or just in Bitcoin and a few of the top 10, top 20 altcoins, you're basically safe. It's still riskier than other investments outside of cryptocurrency, of course, but inside of cryptocurrency, you're as safe as can be, depending on if you're following the main companies or the main projects that you're invested into. For example, if you're an XRP investor and you really believed in a project, you were going to gain more because you were investing in XRP right as the SEC dropped the price. And if you did so, just as a commenter on one of my YouTube videos did, you took a few £100 investment, made a few £1,000 from that. So that's great. If you're on the lookout for scandals, for rumors, for any events that can drop the price, but you're still believing in it, you might buy the dip. If you suddenly don't believe in it, it's okay to sell, but before you do, you might want to think about this. It's happened so many times before. So, first of all, be patient. Wait for in this case for Bitcoin's drop, wait for Bitcoin to build a base floor and consolidate a little bit before you hit all those sell orders. It will only give Bitcoin more power to suddenly rise up into the sky as soon as everything calms down, the dust settles. It'll have more power on the next spike going up. Every single market has good weeks and bad weeks. Just looking at stocks earlier this year was a lot different than last year, where suddenly it was a few 100% gains, and we had a single week where a bunch of stocks just plummeted. Cryptocurrency in that time was actually doing really well. It doesn't mean that we won't reach an all-time high maybe next week, maybe next month, just as in the case of Ethereum hitting its all-time high. While everyone thought that Bitcoin is crashing, the market's over. It's what crypto does. It's in its nature. People who have been through these cycles before, we've learned a lot because we've lost a lot of money. I've also lost over $1,500 in NFTs while cryptocurrencies were going up, and the opportunity cost of those NFTs, if I just held in Binance, it would be thousands of dollars. There's different segments of cryptocurrency where when Bitcoin wasn't doing so well, NFTs were suddenly, boom, popping off. Sometimes it's alt season, sometimes it's DeFi season, sometimes it's the time for NFTs and everything's going green. Other times it's just Bitcoin that's green. Right now, the entire market's basically red except a few particular projects here and there, but nothing's going over 20-30% profits today. It's natural. It doesn't mean anything. If you believe in Bitcoin, you're going to stay put. Everything's going to be fine. It's most likely still going to be okay. It's probably going to go up and hit all-time highs, go back into price discovery mode, hit $70,000, $80,000, because a lot of people looking at it from a long-term basis. Yesterday, they were saying it's alt season. It looks like the middle of 2017, right before Bitcoin, when it really went up. And that could be the case. It also could be the case that we're heading into a bear market crash, but there's certain signs against it. Sure, there's a few companies like Morgan Stanley. They sold a few $1 million here. Sure, a couple investors sold a few million here and there. We got to look at the big players. Are they suddenly dumping billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin? And if they are, what is the reason? For example, it's like the miners in China. If the government forces you to sell and liquidate everything, that doesn't mean that you don't believe in Bitcoin. It just means the government's forcing you to do that. But if the company CEO decides, you know what, let's cash out, that's different, because that states they might not believe in it anymore. And you've got to do your research. Why is that? Market manipulation is definitely a real thing. There's people with hundreds of billions of dollars at stake. It's not just them investing, it's their company, it's their entire family, it's all their friends. These guys are billionaires. They know billionaires. Their entire company's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Why, you don't think the top CEOs of the world are investing in cryptocurrency? You already have some people that have admitted it. Not everybody's going to be shouting from the rooftops. There's people who are investing in cryptocurrency that are known manipulators because they made their money, they made their fortunes off of manipulating penny stocks, off of manipulating their company's stock. You don't think that the same banks that did money laundering and had crazy lawsuits and scandals, you don't think that they're possibly manipulating the Bitcoin markets? No, that would never happen, right? So keep your eyes open, even the ones on the back of your head. Watch out everywhere for any news that's a little suspicious, but treat everything with a grain of salt. You're probably going to be okay. It's probably not a bear market. It's just another dip. Let's go on to the next video. All right, so thanks so much for watching today's video. And now, as I'm speaking, we're back above $50,000. We just hit back above $50,000, $50,011. It was just at $47,000, $48,000. We could stay around here for a little bit at $50,000. Maybe we go back right up to $60,000. That has happened before as well, where people were selling and then 12 hours later, they're like, oh my God. That's why you have to be a little bit patient. And even if it was the bear market crash, yeah, I don't have that much money. I'd love to have more. I'd love to use it for a car, but ultimately, if it's crashing, the fiat dollar version is changing the value of it in US dollars, but in terms of Satoshis, it's staying the same. So at that point, since it's not that much money, it's only a few $1,000s at the end of the day, I might just say, you know what, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to hang on tight, leave it in there, and hopefully in the next few months, add more in there, purchase more dollar cost averaging, and wait till the next happening. Now, if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, then sure, it's a good time to sell a little bit here and there if you know what you're doing. So that's today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great one. Stay calm. Bye.